I wonder, is basketball, the question is, are championships still won on defense now, or are they won on threes? Because we're seeing that all teams have to do is outscore the other team.
Hey y'all, it's Nothing Lightly, and we're back with another episode. I'm C's and that's Dee Dee. This one, it's going to be another fun one. We got a lot to discuss. The NBA playoffs were underway this past week, and officially this weekend they have started. So Deasia, you actually went to the Cavs game. This was one of your first chance of going to a game. I still have not been. Tell me your thoughts. What was that like?
Get in there, it's a little bit different than an average game. It's a playoff atmosphere, and you can feel it from when you walk in the door to the tickets, handing in your tickets, to when you sitting in your seats, or even when you in the food line. I mean, you trying to rush back. Most games, once you get the food, you kind of want to sit there for a bit and then get back to the game. But this, you rushing back with your food. I would just say that atmosphere is just different because everybody gets a T-shirt and represents, and that makes it home court advantage. It makes it, if the stadium is going to be all white, then all white T-shirts. If it's going to be yellow for Golden State, you see why the home court advantage. Just the atmosphere. I don't know how else to describe it. Everywhere you look, you see lights. You got a light on your hand, so when they score, it's lighting it up. It's lighting up. If they make a good stop or something, it's just turning different colors, and it just made for a great night. I really like the atmosphere in there. To be honest, I mean, that atmosphere was competing with a regular Chicago Bulls atmosphere. So I can't imagine if the Bulls when Jordan was playing, the Bulls was in the playoffs. I know that this has gotten better. Social media is big now, but I don't know how else to stress. If you ain't been to a playoff NBA game, you got to go no matter what team you supporting. But the Cavs, it was really nice. I feel like if you a fan, then you got to go to a playoff game. I can't imagine what it's like to go to a finals.
So you had a wristband that was lighting up?
Yeah, it's like a wristband that they give you that lights up. They give you a T-shirt. The T-shirt that we got it said, "Let them know." That's the Cavs slogan. What else? They give you a towel so you can ring that. You can like wave that in the air when they score. Like, I guess if you down there by the free throw line, you get extra stuff over there. It was just really nice. And all throughout the arena, they giving extra free things. I think they even gave a certificate, and it was saying like first playoff game, and then you write your name on there, and they put the date. And then even on the tile, it says like game 1, series 1. So they make it particular. So I would assume like if I was to get to go back to another Cavs game over there, if they keep winning and I try to go to another one, the next T-shirt will probably it'll still say "Let them know," but the tile will be different. It'll say game 2 of series, I don't know, Eastern Conference Finals, something like that. So it was just really nice. It's something that you gotta go see. I don't know how else to tell you. I don't want to keep bragging about it. I don't want to make the experience nothing light of what it is. I can't explain it in the way that I want to. You just gotta be there and go with some people that love basketball, because it was just a game to watch. I don't think I really took my eyes away from that was just an electrifying night.
Yeah, to experience that. I like how you mentioned the Bulls though, because when we go to other stadiums, even across sports, we still like to say that the United Center is one of the most electrifying, one of the most exciting stadiums that you can be in attendance at. And for it to compete with that, it must have been up there then.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, not to mention, we could talk about the arena, but not to mention the game. The game was a really good game. It was actually, I mean, the Cavs was winning most of the night. I think maybe the Heat they might have went up by 2 points at some point. but they never got a big lead. The Cavs always maintain about a 10-point lead. But in that fourth quarter, Sierra, when I tell you they hit so many threes, it was ridiculous. And it wasn't, it was like Ty Jerome, he put them on his back. He ended up scoring, I think, a career high. I don't know if it's a career high, but he's going for the sixth man of the year. And he scored so many threes. I think he went for 28. You got Donovan Mitchell, who scored 30. I think Darius Garland left the game with 27. So it was just like they all were scoring. And that's what's going to make the Cavs so hard to beat, is because they have so many people that can score. They got a lot of depth. Very deep team. And I mean, you're not even talking about the bigs, Mobley. You know, you just got great players on the Cavs.
So let's kind of talk about, let's do a little recap, because a lot happened yesterday. That was a huge day, a huge night, afternoon for basketball. But before that, DH, I kind of want to get into like that play-in tournament. So you saw the Bulls lose for the third time to the Miami Heat. They always get knocked off for the third year in a row. They're knocked off in the getting to the playoffs. They don't end up getting eighth seed. How do you feel about that team real quick?
The Bulls are the Bulls until they start developing like they were. They let go of, I don't know why they got rid of DeRozan. You supposed to build around him. They didn't do that. They kept Lonzo Ball. And I feel like he's just somebody that you got to move Kobe White really into that spot fully. And they have not done that. They haven't even built around a Kobe White. Okay, they lost DeRozan. They got a couple picks. I mean, it's just something about them. They never can make it over that mountaintop. It's like they right there on the cuffs. They do okay, but okay is not enough in the NBA. Do you want to continue to just be okay? Like, okay teams here, those are teams that you eventually look to say, like, let's change. The only reason why Chicago still has a team is because Michael Jordan brought so many championships to them. If it wasn't for that, Sierra, they could have been like, they're just an okay team, and it's been like that for years. Why would a city continue to put money into that type of team? You have to bring a championship winning team, even a team that's besides D-Rose, Sierra. Since when have they went down in the Eastern Conference very far? And that's been over 10 years ago almost at this point. So what's next for them? If it wasn't for Michael Jordan, I'll restate my statement. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan and what D-Rose has done, Sierra, what else have they done? They just been okay. Okay teams, Sierra, those teams look to change cities. You will look up and the Chicago Bulls will be Seattle Bulls or something else. It'll be something else because they're not winning here. The owners I want to know, are they even successful in making money? Like, what's going on? Because some of their draft picks here, it just doesn't seem like they want to win a championship. They just want to have a team. But when do you want to win? They ain't tried to win since D-Rose, and that's, like I said, been over 10 years ago. When are they going to try to win? At this point, Sarah, I don't even really like talking about them when it comes to playoffs. They not a playoff basketball team. That's just it.
Yeah. And if you look at, Deasia, look at all of this money that these teams are going to make in the playoffs. Chicago is leaving so much money on the table by not making it into the playoffs. First of all, they sell out arenas. The United States sells out arenas with a losing team. Imagine if they would make the playoffs. So it's just a money factor. Like you said, are they even concerned about making any money with this organization? I'm sure they do profit, but you're leaving a lot left. There's so much we could talk about with that team, but I just want to say they need to go for some draft picks and they need to just kind of mix around that team. Something needs to give. But let's change. What about the Lakers? What did we see there? The Lakers against the Timberwolves, Deasia. What was your thoughts on that?
Game one was ridiculous. I just saw, from what I watched, I saw a lack of effort from the Lakers. I seen loose balls, and I seen the Timberwolves consistently getting to loose balls. If it's something where you win championships on defense and hustle plays. That's at any level. You got to go for loose balls. That shows me the team that wanted more. From game one, I just saw that the Timberwolves, they wanted it more. And it was no surprise that they was up by so much, because I saw on several plays, even consistent plays, they kept getting the loose balls, kept getting the 50-50 balls, even rebounds here. It's like that lackadaisical play. I don't know what's going on, but the Lakers, they got to come with it. And I'm serious. We know LeBron is going to put them on his back for the next game. I'm not worried at this point. It's just that those 50-50 balls, no matter what team you playing, where you at in the standings, you got to get those if you want to win a championship.
Lakers, they have to regroup from this. I'm not worried either, but that just didn't look like the Lakers team that JJ Redick has been coaching. This is a 50-plus win team. That don't look like that team. So a lot of work to be done there, and they have to take advantage of the mismatches. I just didn't see it. Now, granted, the Timberwolves won't shoot that good in the next game. I mean, their shooting percentage from the three was amazing. That's not gonna happen. But they just gotta play better as a team. You can't contribute. Yeah, the Timberwolves did play excellent, especially shooting wise, but some of that loss was contributed to the lackadaisical play from the Lakers. Now, yesterday we saw a lot of stuff happen. Um, let's talk about OKC versus the Grizzlies, Deasia. What can you say about that? OKC beat them 131-80. And most of the time they starters only play like 20 minutes, Deasia. What can you say about this game? Did you have a
Yeah,
chance to kind of look it over?
yeah. I first of all, one thing that stands out to me is the score, 131-80. They beat them by 51 points. This is points that you see in an All-Star game. This is the NBA playoffs. This ain't just regular season. When is somebody going to play defense? I look at the score of the Heat and the Cavs, 121-100. That's even bad. Why are these teams getting over 100, but not just 101, 105, 110 at the most? 120, 130. It's been games like, who's playing defense? You just going back and scoring, scoring, scoring. Now, I will give it to the Cavs. They hit a whole bunch of threes here. Like, their three-point percentage last night was ridiculous. As a team, overall, they was from three. Let me just put that out there. From three, the Cavs was 41%, Sierra.
I think the same thing with
They hit
OKC.
18 out of 43 threes, and most of them was in the final quarter.
Yeah, I think OKC has some crazy number too. At one point, I'm just watching it, and I'm watching a playback. I think it was in the second quarter they went on a run. At one point in that game, for sure, they went on a 30-5 run, and that was contributed to the threes as well.
And yeah,
When
I'm
you
looking at what they did. 17 of 48 threes. They was 35% from the three. Now, we know in basketball, if you at around 35%, Sierra, that's pretty good on shooting a three. Like, that's a good attempt. And let's just talk about that. Like, we can say this here. Another number that's sticking out is field goal percentage was 50%. That means out of half of their shots, they made them, Sierra. This is
but
ridiculous.
but
That means
Deja,
where's the defense here? Nobody's contesting the shots, making them hard.
what I saw, the OKC had more possessions. If you probably go down a possession, like we get real detail. Yeah, they was beating them up the court. They was just throwing the ball over their heads, cherry picking, like who's gonna get back? And Memphis just jogging back, just jogging back. They just running a clinic, just over your head passing. There's a dunk, there's a three, there's another dunk. And this was not from the starters. Shea wasn't in, Chet wasn't in. All of these players weren't in when this run was happening. 131 is crazy, Gage, to 80. And then what did John Moran say? Oh, we'll never play that bad. Yeah, I bet you won't play that bad again. It's hard to play that bad again. And it's just not him. That team. I think some players, Gage, was like negative when they did the plus or minus. They was like negative 51 with the plus or minus. It's just crazy. Other
When
players
you
was
look
plus or
at this,
minus negative 20, negative 21. Like, they shouldn't even be on the floor. It was like watching a varsity team play junior varsity or play eighth graders,
yeah,
high
what I was
school.
gonna say, when you look at this, you can say one thing about the NBA, it has changed. I mean, a
Yes.
lot of the basketball is no longer in the paint. You got teams going for 35, 40% from the three seer, and that's changing the game. You can amount that to Steph Curry. Look at the things that Golden State is doing right now. You got to consider them as a contender, and I hate to say it, but they are. It's just
Yeah.
because that three ball seer, that has changed the game. And those teams, I remember when JJ Redick and LeBron was having a podcast, and they was saying, JJ Redick was saying, yeah, if those teams that implement the three and consistently shoot the three, no matter if you making it or not, Sierra, you're going to do well. And it's showing that these teams have figured that out. If we could just get up more three-point attempts, that means 50 If you either gonna hit a shot or miss a shot. If you put up more attempts, you're more likely to miss them than if you don't put up a shot. You're zero. You don't have any percentage of making it. So what are these teams doing? Like you saying, going back to the possessions. If I can just take more threes in a quarter and a half than the next team, I'm more likely to win. I'm more likely to put up more points. I wonder, the question is, are championships still won on defense now, or are they won on threes? Because we're seeing that all teams have to do is outscore the other team. The Heat didn't play bad, Sarah. They did not play bad last night against the Cavs. They actually played well, but it wasn't enough. They wasn't out shooting the Cavs. That's literally why they lost.
That's a good point. I think actually the Warriors against the Rockets last night, to be honest, they did a good job on Steph. Now, if you look at Steph's numbers, I think he still went for 30 or something. But the way they was playing him, he couldn't get everything he wanted. They was touching him up every time he was off the ball, Deja. When the ball was in the paint, if he was standing 30 feet away from the basket, it was a guy right there in his chest. That's how you have to play him. So they played him well. Yeah, he got off still. But Deja, that's as good as you can play him. The Rockets' problem is they couldn't score. They getting offensive rebounds and missing. Offensive rebounds missing. They offer offensive rebounds. They beat the Warriors at that game. But the Warriors defense, Deja, they just could not score. That defense is too tough, like I said.
Here, going back again, I'm looking at these stats. 47% from the field goal, 36 out of 76 shooting. 3-point, 12 out of 32. That's 37%, Sierra. 37%. That's higher than what the Thunder was doing. This is why I say that the Warriors are a contender. When you look at the Rockets here, they only scoring 20%. From three, hitting 20%. I hate to say it, but I don't see, if you only shooting 20% from the three here versus these teams, it's unlikely that you're going to win. And that's just me going off of what I've been seeing.
People are excited because this young team did so well, but when it comes to the playoffs, you look at the playoff experience from a Warriors team. I think they got Steph playing 140-something playoff games to their starters only playing. Some of them playing 0. This was their first game, and I think 3. I think you got VanVleet played in the playoffs. I think you might have Brooks played in the playoffs, but you don't have that many players. And then Adams, he played in the playoffs. Outside of them 3, that's a whole new team. When you got Butler, you got Draymond, you got Steph, all have 100+ games in the playoffs. It's not fair. But what killed the Rockets is, Deja, from your best player, Jalen Green only had about 6 or 7 points. I don't know. He was below 10. That's how much he scored. That's your best player. VanVleet hit 1 of 10 from the 3. You need him to hit threes. Who saved him was Adams. And then I forget the other center. Before the center, he the one was scoring. He the only one that had, I think, 20-something. Everybody else 7 and 7 and 7. That's not gonna beat a good team. It's not gonna win a series. You gotta win 4 games in each series. You're not gonna win 4 games if your best player is scoring under 10 points, Deja, and you're pulling him out. He's on the bench. You will not win. So the Rockets, they did decent. I think the game plan defensively, they did what they supposed to, but you got to score. So it's going to be interesting. And then we already know what the Celtics are doing, Deja. I just don't see anybody getting them in the East unless your Cavs have something to say about it. So it'll be them 2 teams. What do you think?
Think those teams are going to come out of it. They like to talk about the depth on the Celtics from all those positions. You just got great defense, but Sierra, the Cavs, what they did last night against, people can say, oh, the Heat, they not that good, but what I saw was a solid team. I saw a team that has a lot of experience. You got to remember, the Heat are always in the playoffs here. Somehow they end up making it, whether that's a Jimmy Butler. But I saw Adebayo, he was playing really good last night. That was just a solid performance from the Heat. It's just they did not have enough when the Cavs are scoring that much, Sierra. At every position they got scoring. We not even talking about Jared Allen. How are you going to stop him? And he's such a defensive-minded player. He can play some defense. I feel like that is going to be tough for the Celtics to match up to. Because at the end of the day, Sierra, you got 2 good scoring teams. It's going to come down to those other players protecting the rim, those players that are sitting on the wing. those players that are playing good defense, that is a series that's going to come down to defense because both of those teams can score.
It's going to come down to your bench and who has the complete team. That's the only thing that I'm seeing with the Celtics. They have a complete team. When you got Pritchard and you got White, you're going for 20, and you're going for 30. Your stars, well, Tatum and Jaylen Brown ain't even doing this. When you got this from Pritchard and you got this from White, and I'm not ever saying White is an Olympian for a reason. That team is going to be hard to beat, but I think this 2025 playoffs is going to come down to this, the experience and lack of it. That's we can say all of this about the Rockets, the Pistons, OKC, but it's going to come down to those teams with experience, and I'm just hoping that the Lakers will wake up because they have some.
What I saw last night with my own eyes here, whether experience or not, the Cavs came ready to play. They had that chip on their shoulder, like, okay, some of us, this is our first playoff game. See, Ty Jerome, that was his first playoff game, scored 28. He's going for the sixth man of the year. Like, what else can you say? And see, the Cavs have so much depth. I feel like if a team can beat the Celtics, it's them. And they've already beat them all year.
This is going to be an exciting playoffs. I think this is one of them wild cards where you can say, hey, the Warriors was out of it, but it doesn't look like it at this point. Who we thought was a sure thing is the Nuggets, but I mean, again, they just got rid of their coach. So it's a lot of moving pieces. We can talk about the Grizzlies all day, but yeah, they did lose their coach as well. So it's a lot of moving pieces. I just think that we just got to keep watching. Yeah, so what's your final thoughts on this, though? Who are you looking to see in the next few games? What are you looking to see?
Well, I'm following two teams right now. I'm following the Cavs because I really want to see them come out the East. And I'm, of course, following the Lakers. I want to see them come bounce back. That's what I want to see. I want to see LeBron put them on their back. I want to see him make the adjustment of, I gotta motivate y'all. And we've seen him do that on no matter what team he's on. He will motivate. The team they will rally together. I want to see Austin Reeves play better. And I want to see Luka get into his role on the Lakers. That's a playoff role that you got to get into. Whether that's scoring, facilitating, moving the ball. The Lakers, one thing I want to see is them going after loose balls. And I want them all as a team to play their role. They do that, I think they can come out of the West. That's what I want to see. Those are the two teams that I'm looking for. And I hope they matched up against each other so it's a win-win for me. What is your favorite playoff moment that you've seen, experienced, witnessed, whether that's in the first round or the finals?
Favorite playoff moments that I can remember. That Miami Heat team when you got Ray Allen hitting that shot in the corner. That just one of them ones where his feet was almost on the line, but he had his toes. It was just his toes, Deasia. He was almost out of bounds. That's just one of the moments that I'm not going to forget. But then also, Deasia, that deep Detroit team with Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Prince. That team, that's a complete team. I remember those moments. And plus, I got to give credit to Rondo, the big three. Rondo, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. And Deasia, I cannot.
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett. I can go down the line and say the San Antonio team, Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan. Those are the teams that I remember. And of course, I will be remiss if I don't bring up Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe. So I'm kind of giving you a little backstory of what was my favorite era of basketball. But Deasia, that was playoff basketball where you don't forget them moments.
I love those rivalries where you got a Celtics versus a Cavs trying to come out the East. And
yeah,
it's just, Sierra, it comes down to a couple of things. And one thing about Paul Pierce, he going to get to his spot. One thing about Rondo, he got that ball on a string and he's going to find an open man. Okay, you don't want to guard me from the free throw line. Well, you just giving me a lot of open space to see the floor. And Sierra, he is deadly when he gets to scoring. So I love that team. One of my favorite moments It's always going to be Kyrie Irving versus Steph on that big shot to win a series. And then one thing that I won't forget is after they won, it was like LeBron did what he said he was going to do for the Cavs. He did it. He brought it to the city. He did it for Cleveland, right, Sierra? Within the next couple of, I don't even know if it was weeks, days, whatever, we find out that Kevin Durant is traded to the Golden State. It's just like, wow. Like that type of stuff, it actually happened in the NBA, and you put your mind around it like, how did this even happen? And so when people want to say, oh, LeBron had to team up, what did KD do? That team was already in the finals here. They were just playing for a championship. I'm never going to forget that day. We couldn't even really celebrate we couldn't even really celebrate the Cavs the way that we wanted to before hearing that KD was traded to come to a team that was already good.
They were already championship caliber. They still, this culture of that team is why I think people are like, okay, we know what's going to happen because they had that culture. But, Deasia, when we talk about these stories, just you throwing that in about KD, basketball writes itself. Like, this stuff is written already. This storyline is right itself. That's what gives all of the excitement, and we just ready for the moments that we know are going to happen. But do you think that era of basketball, Deasia, those were stars that was ready for the show? Do you think that it's kind of lacking now because it is so many young, so many young teams, so many young players that have never been there? Do you think they ready for that moment?
Well, I feel like there's no other way to get ready than to get in that moment. You got to be put in that fire, put in that ring, that arena, and those that want to win, they'll come to play. They'll find a way. And you're going to see dogs come out. If you want a ring or not, it's certain players here no matter what. See, we came up on basketball where you had the Allen Iverson, you had the Carmelo Anthony, that no matter how much of that dog factor come out, which they were dogs, they just did not get over that hump of winning a championship. Nowadays, you got players being traded so much, it's no reason why you shouldn't. If you play the way that you should with a great coach, great team around you, why can't you win? That's why the Golden State's here. That's why they are where they are right now. Because no matter what, Steph is a dog. He got a great coach, and you just put other players around him. There's no reason why. I hate to say it. When Draymond got up there and said, yeah, we winning the championship, I hope he's not right, but really, he got a lot of confidence, and we seeing why now. It's because as soon as you put a couple of factors in the mix, this is always going to be a team competing for a championship. It is. You just put somebody like Butler here, he's a two-way player on this team that needed that with Draymond.
Yeah, it's your last question before we sign off. Who is your favorite playoff player? And since you've been watching, who is the one player that you're going to ride with? That you're going to throw all your chips on? You betting everything you got on this player.
I got two players. One old and one current. My old player is Rondo. And a lot of people don't know why. It's because of what I said. This is a player, Sierra, he's going to find a way to affect the game, no matter if that's scoring or passing, if that's on the defensive end. He's just that type of player. And let me remind you, he has a championship. When they let go of Rondo, they did not come back and win. If you would have kept him, I think they would have had a better chance of winning.
What team are you talking about, Jay?
The Lakers, Sierra.
Yeah.
You cannot forget, he was a veteran at that point. The Lakers don't win if he wasn't on that team, Sierra. He led that team. I was just watching the podcast. He was talking about they decided not to play me a game, and then they was wondering, in other words, why they was in a tough game. Came back the next day, he looked at LeBron. You better put me in at the end of the game, because I guess LeBron kind of makes sure who's playing what towards the end of the game. He may be more of the player coach or whatever they call it. Anyway, he looked at LeBron in the warm-ups and was like, hey, you better, if y'all want to win, like, in other words, we going to keep playing around or we want to take the series. They played him, Sierra, and that was the rest is history. Like, they end up winning. So this is the type of player that he is on the Celtics. When Kevin Garnett wasn't playing well, when Paul Pierce wasn't playing well, and Ray Allen, when he wasn't shooting, who else do you go to? You go to a Rondo, Sierra. And the thing about him, why he's so good, is because people sleep on him. You continuously think he's not going to score. You look up and you look at that monitor, he dropped you for 25, 30. Not to mention he got 10 assists. This is the type of player that Rondo is, and he's one of my favorite players of what he does. He's always a pass first, but he gonna get off. Now, the other player that I go for no matter what, and if they're healthy, they playing Kyrie Irving. because you cannot stop him. I don't care who it is, Sierra. There's nobody on the floor that can stop him. LeBron can't stop him, Sierra. Your best defender is going to have a tough time because he got a counter for a counter for a counter for a counter. How are you going to stop him, Sierra? And no, he could shoot the three. And what are we just talking about now? The three ball is what you need for championships. So if anybody, I'm taking him over Steph. I'm taking him over Luka. Give me, Sierra, if the Dallas Mavericks would have had Kyrie Irving, they would have been in the playoffs right now. That's the type of player he is, Sierra. The Cavs don't win that championship if he don't hit that shot. You got to guard him. You can't take off. Yeah. So, and you already had Anthony Davis scoring 40. So imagine imagine Kyrie, Sierra. Come on now. Those are the two players that I want on my playoff run, my championship team. Give me Rondo, give me Kyrie. Who you want?
Well, I can't never, just because I have to, the GOAT, Deasia, and you know who that GOAT is. I can never not put LeBron. He's been the most dominant. How many playoffs have he been in the past? Let's say 15 years. It's like a crazy number. And then just for the sake of it, just because we know how dangerous. And I mean, he's almost like a villain to our Lakers, Deasia. When you have Steph, the game just becomes like you get nervous, Deasia. Almost like, please stay with him. Please don't leave him. You get nervous. And if you cheer for the Lakers, he's our villain. But for any other reason, Deasia, he is that guy. And he's the guy that you want on your team in the playoffs. He's won, just like LeBron. But Deasia, he's been there for them big moments. So those are my guys. And I think that list that we just came up with, Kyrie, Rondo, Steph, LeBron, those are four of the best that we've ever seen in the playoffs. Yeah, you can go back in history to the Jordan, but in this era, Deasia, those are the four best that we have ever seen that are consistent in solidifying their role in playoffs and what they do. They take it to another level. But anyway, this is our episode, y'all. This is Nothing Lightly. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, wherever you listen, give us 5 stars. Tell us what you like. Hit us in the chat. This is Nothing Lightly. We'll see y'all next time.